We're on.
Hello. Sorry, was having a little technical difficulties.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So, welcome to
Okay.
HLC Saturday Solutions, number 14.
The
I
good news is they didn't hear the yelling while you were having technical difficulties.
Nobody wants that. So, I am Chris Saru, of HLC Bookkeeping and Office Services.
Hmm. Christina Room.
Okay, of HLC Bookkeeping and Office Services.
Correct.
Our contact info is 724-561-7460.
Hmm.
Office@yourhlc.com to reach us by email. And our website is hlcbookkeeping.com.
Hmm.
All right. So, the purpose of Saturday Solutions is throughout the week, we sometimes come into contact with questions from our clients, and usually if there's we get it 2 or 3 times, we're like, oh, that's something maybe we should talk about on Saturday. So um the first thing that just happened, well, let's do our thing
Recap
first.
last week.
Recap of previous events,
Hmm.
um which was
Follow
last.
your
I know
checklist,
I have to
people.
follow the checklist. That's what I do. All right, so we talked about time, talent, and treasure, and the need to block your time. Um, Make sure you include travel, any extra travel time, that type of thing. Um, and also, gifting talent and treasure is just as important in whatever you do in life. Then we also talked about making sure you expand your thinking. You should be reading, talking, debating with people. And a respectful debate is excellent. It
Yes.
helps people see your point of view, it gives you other points of views. But the thing is respect. Like, just because we disagree doesn't mean I don't like you, it just means I disagree with you. That's
Hmm.
all.
That's right. It's allowed. You can disagree.
Yeah, it really, really is, because we're not all the same. All right, so then the last thing was office courtesy, making sure your antenna is up, you're paying attention to your surroundings. Um, and if someone's struggling, like say there's a new employee in your group
Hmm.
and they're looking a little puzzled, you should be paying attention to that and be like, how can I help you? Are you having trouble with your email? Are you having trouble logging in?
Yep.
Make them feel welcome.
But our new employee's not struggling. She's fabulous. Just saying.
I know. We have great employees here. We are
Hmm.
truly, truly blessed.
Hmm.
All right. So one thing that just came up actually today, isn't even on our three because we had already decided that we have clients who are getting emails from Intuit, but it's not really Intuit. So please, please, please pay attention out there.
Intuit is the parent company of QuickBooks. So if you have QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop, then INTUIT is the parent company of those endeavors, as well as TurboTax. I'm sure they have other companies as well. But the
Mhm.
thing to watch for is sometimes people will send
Spelling.
you things saying your subscription's out of date or you've lost payroll services, click here to pay, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
No, no, no. You do everything through your software. So if you're getting an external email saying click this button to pay, it's not from Intuit. And we had a client who got basically something that said click here to pay because your subscription's out of date. And instead of Intuit, there was no T at the end. It was intui.com. So just to be on the alert when we talked about antennas up, um, it is the number one software in the world. So people try to, I guess,
Scam.
scam. Yeah,
Yeah. So you want to pay attention. And remember, you all, if you're using QuickBooks software, have a QuickBooks account.
correct.
So if you get something
Mhm.
in your email, go to your behind the scenes QuickBooks account, which
Mhm.
lists all your subscriptions, and
Correct.
it will show if it's
Mhm.
active or not.
Correct. And if you don't know your Intuit ID, then we can help you with that.
That's right.
Mhm.
All right. So I just want heads up out there for you guys.
Mhm.
All right. So let's talk about the state of Pennsylvania
Mhm.
and their transition of e-tides to MyPath.
Yes. So, you have to create a new user ID in the new MyPath system because they are sunsetting eTides. So, if you paid any taxes through the eTides account, we suggest you
Print your
print your
history
history so that you know you have something to prove
or
things
save
are
it as a
paid.
PDF. Just have it
Whatever.
somewhere.
Just do something like that. And then, but what we did find out is our clients who have multiple companies, the MyPath system only wants you to have one email per
Company.
login. And if you have another company and you want to create uh, a login for that company and you're using your one email, it says you can't use that email. So I just ran into that literally this morning. So I will have a solution hopefully next week. Because
That's
I'm
right.
sure there's a way that you can request permission to the other account under the original login. I just haven't done it yet. So there you go.
All right.
And that's for a client. And again, clients that pay and people who pay their own taxes for its PA withholding or sales
Sales
tax
tax.
or have to do the end of
They're
year
corporate, they're
reporting,
personal. You can do it all there.
yeah, you can get it all there. So, and even if you have a third party provider like ADP or Paychecks, you should still be logging in to make sure they're paying what they said they're going to be paying. So, just an FYI, you should still set up your MyPath account even if you have third party providers.
Correct. Correct. All right. And then another timely thing that's been coming up lately is let's talk about professional services
Mm.
that your company might employ. Now, professional services are people like insurance, um, bookkeeping, accounting. They're
Mhm.
providing professional
Legals,
service, legal.
attorneys,
That's right.
marketing consultants,
Right. Anything like that.
website providers.
hmm Now, we have a policy here that every 3 years we evaluate. We have look at the pricing. Has it, changed drastically? Are our needs expanding? Should this be something we should bid out because,
Mhm.
or there's a big transition coming up that we're going to need uh, some help with? But it also is a good thing for you to know that you're being charged correctly from your
Mhm.
current provider, and or if there are things that change that they no longer provide, you might have to have someone else. So it's always a good time to look at it. Insurance as well, workers comp, your commercial liability, your property, all that.
Mhm.
You should definitely be looking at that. It shouldn't be a one and done for the next 20 years.
Mhm.
um do you have anything to say about that?
No, I mean, we're lucky enough that our providers are fabulous with us.
But we're still going to check them.
And like even if say your brother is your insurance agent or whatever, does that mean you should never bid again?
No,
Uh,
no. No, every 3 years I'm checking and
yeah.
be like, hey, you're charging me too much, or
And
hey, I
you
don't think
should
you're charging enough.
set the expectation so it's
Right,
not a surprise
right.
that hey, I'm going to bid this out just so we know because that's company policy.
That's right. It's nothing personal. It's
Mhm.
me being a good business owner, making sure I'm dotting the I's and
Yeah,
crossing the T's.
yeah.
That's all. All right. Um, Also, some don't be afraid, like bookkeeping wise. There's in QuickBooks, as I'm sure you all know, there's 100 ways to do the same thing.
Yep.
And sometimes there's more efficient ways,
Yes.
or there are shortcuts that other people have figured out.
Right.
So don't be afraid to talk to people in the like business with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, hey, have you found an easier way to do blank?
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter. They can be a competitor or whatever. There's enough work out here for everybody. So like, we can move the whole industry forward if we share things that we have found.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, and I was going to say too, even in the same office, just this
Right.
morning, because what we realized when we were evaluating our business and the year stuff was that my people are now, I'm more heavily catering to the QuickBooks Online people just because that's the transition. I still have desktop people, but it used to be like 40% online. Now it's like 80% are online. So it's just transition is happening, and there's pros and cons to why you would stick with
Right.
desktop instead of transitioning to online, and there's valid reasons to do so.
Right.
So like, and again, that's something you can call and talk to us about. And
Yes,
there,
before you
yes.
purchase, there's so many options with QuickBooks
Mhm.
alone. So you
Yeah.
want to talk to us to make sure one, you're not
Yeah.
overbuying
Correct.
or underbuying.
Because there's different levels of software available, so you should know which is the best fit for you.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
In online and desktop.
Right. And see, I'm just the opposite of her. Most of my clients are still desktop
Hmm.
for various reasons. So I have maybe 80% on desktop, 20% on online. So,
Right.
of course, I'm not in online as much. So, if something comes up, I ask her questions.
Right.
And just like a desktop, if something comes up with her desktop, she's like, hey, is there a better way to do this?
Correct.
So,
Just because you're not in it as much. That's
right,
all.
right, that's all. So, I think that's our three topics for today, Christina.
Wow, that was a quick
I
one. We went through
know.
quickly, quickly, quick, quick, quick.
All right. So again, this is Krista and Christina Rue from HLC Bookkeeping and Office Services. Our phone number is 724-561-7458.
Hmm.
Um, our website,
You gave your cell phone, just so you know.
oh, 7460. Please don't call me directly because it'll go to voicemail. But I'll still get back to you. It won't be as quickly as
Right.
Joyce, my office manager,
Yeah.
would get back to you.
Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Fridays and Saturdays by appointment.
Right.
Hmm.
Office number ends in 60.
Correct.
All right. So that's all I have for today.
Hmm.
All right.
Oh
So
yeah, and just like before, if anybody else has topics that they would like us to cover
yeah, feel free.
and wondering about, we are open to suggestions. Otherwise, you're stuck with our ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think are timely based on what we're
Hmm.
hearing. But
It's
still, sometimes there's like this email thing, like that's worrisome that people are out there starting to send
mhm.
stuff again. So keep
Yeah.
your eyes open for that.
It's not. They never stopped. It's
They
just
don't.
sometimes they get more clever, and it bears talking about.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's easy to spot. Sometimes not so much.
All right.
Hmm.
Bye bye.
Have a great day.